Blue Lock is a manga that began serialization at Kodansha Comics on August 1st, 2018. In those 7 years, it has 40 million copies in circulation, was the best-selling manga of 2023, and has a theatrical film release grossing over 14 million in the box office. This is what its anime looks like.
そのサポートに回れでいい。試合の入り方を見誤るな。俺とお前が共存すれば初見で止めるのはまず無理だろ。ラストパス。
Look back to 2022 and Blue Lock was on top. The hype behind this anime was so insane, Japan won the fucking World Cup for it. Blue Lock was unavoidable when its first season released. But not by me. I have not seen a single episode or read a chapter until I randomly stumbled upon Blue Lock Season 2. It had just come out, and me and my friend were bored one day and thought it would be funny to jump in the middle of it with no context. We were... I want to say speechless, but that word isn't even strong enough. How can the most hyped anime of that year have a second season that looks like this? I've seen better animation in soft serve ice cream. So says everyone on Twitter. So with that begs the question, did Blue Lock fall off? Or was it ever really good? And as someone who is unaffected by the initial hype, I'm going to take you episode by episode to evaluate if Blue Lock actually fell from grace. Starting with...
俺もストライカーだ。
Okay, so we get introduced to the main character, Yoichi Isagi. He's playing soccer and he's doing it somewhat adequately. So far. But Isagi makes a bad call passing it to a teammate when in reality he had the better shot. This costs them the game, crushing Isagi and his teammates' dreams of playing in nationals. This puts Isagi on the path of selfishness and becoming the #1 in the world. Now I just want to say that while it is a bit simplistic, I do find Isagi's backstory interesting. It defines who Isagi is as a player and introduces the concept of ego being a main theme in the series. He gets a letter inviting him to soccer Hogwarts where he meets up with the guy who scored the winning goal on his team, denying Isagi his potential future. Naturally, Isagi being this new style of doormat shonen MCs, think about it, Yuji, Deku, Takamichi, I had to look that one up. He tries to make good with the guy, accepting his L with grace. They then enter this room where they meet Jinpachi Ego, and I have to say this, I am so off-put by this design. I hate his cut, I hate his fit, I hate his face. Sorry, this isn't relevant at all, but I need to express my dislike for this character. He explains that everyone in that room is a top 300 soccer player in Japan, and he is admitting whoever wants to join to Blue Lock, a government-funded soccer program to train and create a team that will win the World Cup. But if you were eliminated, you can never play for the Japanese national team, ending your dreams of playing soccer professionally. Not sure why soccer is so serious that it's worth investing hundreds of millions into top-of-the-line training equipment and hard-light holographic technology for soccer, when you have a struggling economy and earthquakes and tsunamis and kaiju attacks. Anyways, Ego gives a rousing speech about balls and the Hunter exam begins! I mean Blue Lock. Fuck! Isagi gets a slutty soccer uniform and we are introduced to Team Z, the worst team in all of Blue Lock. Psst, keep that in mind for the future. Every player in the building is giving a numerical rank, with Isagi being ranked 299th. And the first round begins immediately. The last person to get tagged by the ball will be eliminated. The ball comes to Isagi, and rather than eliminate the 300th player to ensure his safety, he chooses to eliminate the player above him, his rival, choosing to seek stronger enemies rather than weaker ones. Isagi has earned his first kill. This fuels his ego and gives a pretty huge payoff to his backstory, and is pretty satisfying. Overall, this is an interesting first episode and sets up a lot of plot elements pretty efficiently. On a larger scale, the writing isn't anything super special, kinda simplistic and by the book sports anime storytelling, but it has a decent enough subversion of traditional sports anime with the ego shit to keep me hooked. Overall, not horrible. It probably feels like I spent a long time on the first episode when I have 37 more, but don't worry, the first episode is the plottiest, but Blue Lock's plot is pretty thin. So thin that I can sum it up in one sentence. Soccer.
I like dudes a lot.
Isagi is faced with the brutal reality of his selfish action, crushing the dream of a player who destroyed his. Team Z does some physical tests, and Isagi meets Bachira, who has 2 monsters inside of him. One to play soccer, and the other is gay. Ego explains that Blue Lock's living conditions are directly based on the player's skill level, incentivizing them to play better. They're also given regimented diets based on rank, and when certain goal limits are met, you can be given better meals. We are then introduced to the premise of the next arc being a round-robin tournaments where all the teams will play each other and only the best will move on. But top scorer on each team will also move on as well. Keep that in mind for the future, it'll be slightly important.
I know a thing or two about fingers up butts.
Soccer! That's pretty much it. We see the teams fall into infighting, determined to be the top scorer and secure passage to the next round. Baru makes himself known as a threat and drops a one-liner practically designed to farm aura. We establish some key players for the future like Baru, Kuon, and Kunigami. Team Z gets their asses waxed by Baru and prepare for the next match. Bro, why is he naked?
Don't fuck it! I'm gonna fuck the skim milk!
Team Z discusses their strengths and strategies, with Kuon taking sort of a team captain type role. While it isn't anything crazy, it really endeared me to his character. Whereas everyone was just kicking and screaming amongst themselves, one level head rises above to focus his team to victory. He is officially my certified GOAT. We have some nice character interactions between Team Z, and Kunigami puts his meat in Isugi's mouth. Isugi starts to use his experiences and strategies to benefit his own playstyle. We see some pretty impressive shots from players with decent enough animation, and the structure of games and chemistry of Team Z is starting to take shape. I do wish there was some sort of elevated reality to make the more mundane soccer segments more entertaining. Just throw in like 10% Mario Super Strikers for safety and you're golden. The game should have more of a battle-like feel, with more of a conflict and not just, I pass to you, now to you, back to you, thank you. Without some form of elevated reality, the show is just a bunch of Japanese preteens playing soccer in brutalist architecture. Throw a blue filter on it and now they're Russian preteens playing soccer.
Dude, Superman isn't real.
Fuck you, Superman is real!
During the second game of the round robin, we see Isugi's character shift under the pressure of Blue Lock from the goody-goody soccer goober to the more focused. His skill set / gimmick is being defined, and Isugi sets his FOV slider to Quake Pro. As Isugi hones his new skills, he becomes the highest ranking player on Team Z within days of entering Blue Lock. At this point in the series, it still feels like I'm waiting on the story to start moving, but in this episode, I can feel the plot beginning to start.
Fuck you, you fucking dumpster baby. Alright, fuck you.
In the next match of the round robin, Kuon reveals he conspired with the enemy team and betrayed Team Z. He wants to remain the top scorer on the team to make sure he moves on. So quickly, he is no longer my goat. Also, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to just join the enemy team mid-match. They probably don't even have a card for that.
Fuck you, Nicholas! Fuck you! Fucking you piece of shit!
We get Shiguri's crybaby backstory about how he tore his ACL once and now he doesn't want to use his fully healed leg.
Ah, my fucking knees! Get crowbarred, bitch!
Kinda reminds me of that one guy from that other show. I know I haven't really touched on the characters too much, but Shiguri is the femboy that's been standing in the background. After his injury, he's basically given up on soccer and he came to Blue Lock to get eliminated, I guess? Why? The fuck? Shiguri remembers he isn't crippled, goes supersonic, and scores the game-winning goal. After the game, we're introduced to Nagi and Ryo, who will become important characters in the future. But not right now. Oh my god, you're such a tease. Just wait a second.
Mario's fucking balling! What the fuck?
So we get the backstory of how Nagi and Ryo met, as well as establishing their dynamic. Ryo is the talented and ambitious soccer player, and Nagi definitely mains Hawkeye in Marvel Rivals. We also get to see the aftermath of Kuon's betrayal since they have to play on the same team still. They basically all just bully him and treat him like shit. It's a little funny. Isugi tries to train with Baru for like a second until he gets his ass kicked, naturally. And the match between Team Z and the strongest team, Team V, with Nagi and Ryo begins. And spoiler alert, but this game clears every game before it. Just watch.
I'll kill motherfuckers before I obey them traffic laws.
Weirdly, it was around this point I noticed myself becoming more invested in some of the characters like Baru, Kunigami, and Nagi. Mostly just more soccer in this one, but the ante is definitely being upped with a bit more. We get to see Bachira do some fabulous dribbling, and Team Z improves greatly during this match. The episode's title being Awakening, we get to see Team Z reach new levels of strength and use their skills more effectively. This show has finally started. The characters are finally doing cool shit. This is that heightened reality I was wanting. Give me more backflips! This episode was mostly just more soccer, but I noticed that characters like Bachira and Nagi were really raising the skill ceiling pretty quickly and showing up almost everyone on the field. There was also this constant sense of danger with the players on the field and consequences of losing driving every movement of both teams. Every kick is do or die, and I have finally accepted the possibility that soccer can possibly, maybe, be somewhat cool just a little bit. We learn Kuon's backstory and why he is a selfish, conniving bastard who broke my heart. But despite his earlier betrayal, he takes a personal foul to sabotage Nagi's game-ending kick and buy Team Z another chance at victory. Kind of shitty, yes. But goddammit if he isn't my GOAT again!
I did not like Cars 2. Too many cars.
Isagi scores a fucking awesome shot and wins the final match of the tournament against the strongest team, and Team Z celebrates their win. But to counteract the celebration of the main cast, we see a crowd of eliminated players, showing that while our soccer goobers did move on, it wasn't without consequence. Grown-ass men literally crying at their dreams being crushed. Could never be me. All in all, I'm pretty interested in seeing where the plot goes from here. Let's hope it doesn't... well, you know. Okay, so here are my thoughts on the anime so far, and this will be pretty sincere, so I won't be joking about how much of this show is yaoi bait. It's not even funny. I really wasn't expecting to feel this way going in, but it's really not that bad. While I'm not like in love with the show or whatever, it's hard to deny that Blue Lock has a simple and effective writing. I can't really say the writing is bad when the writing is exactly what it wants to be. It's not trying to be Berserk, it's trying to be a series about bros being dudes and playing soccer. And surprisingly, it does it pretty well. I do have some issues with the characters though. I think Isagi being the sole perspective is the biggest mark I have against the show so far. I know it's supposed to be Isagi's personal journey to become the best striker in the world, but Isagi isn't really interesting enough to have the camera on him the whole time. He has some legit cool plays, but as a character he's kind of hollow. I feel like if we devoted some time to other players on Team Z, it would give us more time to not only get invested in the individual, but the team as a whole. Like, I don't give a fuck about the monk guy. I don't even know his name, and it's because he only has like 4 lines, and all of them are just like, "Gah, the goal!" But as it stands, if you're not standing next to Isagi, you're not important. It would also help to flesh out the world of Blue Lock by getting other players' perspectives on the environment and plot points. But again, this show isn't trying to be as good as Lego Batman the video game, but I feel like this simple tweak in the writing would give a lot more potential narrative depth. And it's weird that the worst team in all of Blue Lock has so many players that actually pop the fuck off and become some of the best players in the entire program. Also, this is unrelated, but I think it's really funny that they put the spiky, fiery, angry shonen boy on defense, which he hates, and he does his best just so the game will end faster so he can play offense in the next game, but he never gets to it. It's a really funny bit, I will admit. The sound design and music are actually really good too. Every goal sounds like a shotgun blast, and Japan was on some dark arts shit with the guitar solos on this soundtrack. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts on the first arc. Not so bad after all, and even has some parts of pretty impressive animation. Let's hope they can keep this up and don't, you know.
Can I get 3 wishes, Travis?
No, you're ugly.
Isagi passes a test of scoring 100 goals in an hour and a half. He goes into the next room and sees all the other players who have also moved on. The next stage requires the players to form 3-man teams. Isagi forms a team with Bachira, and Nagi approaches wanting Isagi to join his team with Ryo. Isagi says nah, fuck that, and Nagi joins his team anyway because Isagi is the better player, I guess? Kunigami and Shigiri team up, noticing that Isagi has left them behind. The next stage is explained to be a team-stealing tournament where the winning team takes a player from the losing team. Your team whittled away until you're the last one unpicked and eliminated. Isagi, with his chest, challenges the numero uno player in Blue Lock, Itoshi Rin. He is about to be defiled.
They don't fart on you in Shrek 4D, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, they got defiled. More stalker ensues, and Bachira gets stolen at the end of the game. Bachira turns to Isagi, saying if he wants him, come and get him. But not in, like, the gay way, like the bro type of way, you know? Oh my god, stop this monster inside of me shit. It's so dumb.
This is the head I masturbate with.
Hey, look, Baru's back! In the next round of the tournament, Nagi and Isagi face Baru and some NPC from Team Z. Yada yada yada, more soccer, nothing really crazy here. Wait, what? Whoa, what the fuck? Nagi is the fucking GOAT!
Yeah, but the hose. Oh, what? It's too hard to get the hose.
Again, just more soccer in this one, but it's more used as a backdrop for character dynamics. Baru is the only character I can take somewhat seriously. All the other characters are like, goo goo gaga, I'm gonna be the best. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right, champ, you go get him. And Baru's like, my life is yours, king. But the chemistry between Nagi and Isagi really stands out. It's kind of short-lived, but I really like their dynamic. Soccer, soccer, soccer. The NPC pulls out his lucky pack of backwoods, and we get to see his actually tragic backstory. Up until now, the backstories were just like, man, I have no friends, or man, I hurt my leg and I don't want to run again. But no, this random-ass character is orphaned and works multiple jobs to support his sibling, and he went to Blue Lock to become a pro soccer player and support his family. Isagi and Nagi come from good homes. This guy is struggling, and he's 16 years old. Jesus Christ. This kid's heart is golden, but nope, Isagi picks Baru, obviously, and he's left alone on the field and eliminated. And given I had to look this guy's name up, I'm not surprised. It's just a shame that this impoverished teen has to go back to working his 3 jobs and never get to achieve his dream. But the lineup of Isagi, Baru, and Nagi is pretty gassed, I'm not gonna lie.
Come to our gamer hole. Get a heaping bowl of gamer O's.
Oh boy, time for some primetime yaoi bait. I love yaoi. Ryo and Nagi meet back up after breaking up like 15 minutes ago, and Isagi's team plays Kunigami, Shigiri, and Ryo in the next match of the tournament. Not really much happens in this episode, but it was nice to see a somewhat reunion of Team Z after the round robin. Team Z was lined with bums, but it was nice having that familiar team and cast built up over the first arc, and I definitely felt their absence and missed them a little bit. But only a little bit.
This has been a pretty shitty experience.
Yeah, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna kill you.
Damn, Baru fell off. Let me just say this really quick. Baru is literally just Sukuna. You're probably thinking, L-Take, Bozo, Old Head, fell off plus ratio plus kill yourself. But Baru literally refers to himself as king, doesn't pass the ball, only cares about himself, and is literally voiced by the same guy. So when I say Baru fell off, it's kind of a big deal. This is one of the main focuses of the episode, and despite being able to score 4 out of 5 goals by himself in one game, his self-centeredness and inability to work with his new team is making him unable to score and being an active hindrance to Isagi and Nagi. Shigiri invents new running tech, Run V2, where he kinda just passes the ball to himself. I know it sounds dumb, and it kind of is. Isagi's team is down 2 points and is about to lose. Baru better lock the fuck in and get off his ass, bro. I'm very surprised we actually get to see Baru's backstory, which confirms that ever since he was a JIT, he was actually in fact legit. He wasn't just blessed with magical soccer Jesus power. He did put in the work, but he doesn't want to be the best in the world. He just wants to be better than you. Yes, you specifically. Michael. He literally plays soccer to crush people's dreams, and as a D1 hater myself, my fucking man. Holy fucking shit, he passed. This was actually a crazy moment for me watching the first time. It looks like a total nothing from the outside, but after hearing the shit this man was talking, literally referring to other players as donkeys, seeing Baru get over himself and pass for the first time was pretty cool. Baru passes the ball to Isagi, and Isagi has farmed enough aura throughout the match to score a goal. It was during this episode I realized that the Blue Lock power system, if you want to call it that, isn't about ego, or chemical reactions, or not getting shit on by a bird. That'll make sense later. What makes you the best player in Blue Lock is your aura and how well you farm it. And I'm only half joking. And no one has more aura than Baru. Realizing Isagi has passed him in skill, he manually raises his skill level mid-match in order to score the rawest goal in the fucking show, winning the game and leaving us on the cliffhanger of who they'll choose from the losing team. Spoiler alert, it's Shigure. I'm actually really surprised we got to see even a little bit of character development from Baru. That combined with that raw-ass awakening and goal makes him my new GOAT without a doubt.
Amaterasu! Fuck, my voice cracked there, my bad.
Okay, I'm gonna be so for real, I hated this episode. This episode covers Bachira's backstory. It's not really that compelling. Like, it's just Bachira's childhood of being a Dream fan, basically. But it's fine because... yeah, pretty much just padding before the next match and giving context to Bachira's character. Nothing special. Okay, next. We start right out the gate with more yaoi bait. The final match of the player stealing tournament between Isagi and Rin's team begins. Just more soccer. Wait, what the fuck? Nagi's my fucking goat. Holy shit!
You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good.
The match continues, and around this episode, I noticed exactly how much Isagi has improved, going toe-to-toe with the #1 player. Feels like he's making real strides and rising the ranks to become the best of the... Oh hey, it's Baru. Wait, what's he? Holy shit, Baru is GOAT again. Damn, that shit was tough. Did he just hit the Frieza pose? Oh yeah, and Rin's alright, I guess. I'm so over Bachira's stick of having a monster inside of him. It's kind of a dumb metaphor if we're being real. That's it. Turn on the TV! They hit the Pentagon! They hit the fucking Pentagon! Isagi's team loses the final match, but he is picked to join Rin's team after his showing in the game. Isagi is torn from his team and the friends he's made. It's not exactly the way he wanted, but Isagi did get Bachira. Isagi and his team proceed to a briefing with Ego where he explains the skill of manipulating your luck on the field by dodging bird shit. Yep, I don't get it either. He then explains that they will be playing a game against the World 5, who are the best strikers from the best teams in the world. It's so weird hearing them speak English, and with accents no less. It's...
Okay, that's enough. You three are acting like children. You will learn Itoshilai?
Interesting choice. But yeah, these grown-ass men are going to thrash these high school scrubs. They will be beaten, bloodied, and left face down on the field.
Whis? What happened? I'm a fucking Lego!
Yeah, they got thrashed. Rin scored a goal at least. They all gather in a room where they see all the other teams that passed the selection as well. We see some familiar faces as well as new ones that will be our supporting cast come the next arc. Ego then explains that in order for Blue Lock to not be shut down by the investors, they have to prove themselves by playing the Japanese U20 team and taking their place in the World Cup if they win. Fuck yeah. I'm hyped. Let's do this. Okay, so second arc, how we feeling? Honestly, good. This arc was pretty great. Great concept, great characters, great goals, honestly super solid. I noticed while watching the first half of the season that I was more invested in the plot, but not as interested in some of the bench warmers on Team Z or the enemy teams. But in the second half, I was less interested in the plot, probably because it was just another tournament, and more invested in characters like Isagi, Nagi, Rin, and Baru. While I kinda ragged on Isagi in the beginning, I'm starting to get behind him as a main character. He's never going to be my favorite, but I really don't hate him, just his haircut. He develops over the course of the season, improves his skill, and makes himself a threat to all the other players with his strategic playstyle. Rin plays an interesting shark in the walls type character as this critical threat that could emerge at any moment. Nagi has good chemistry with a lot of the cast, both on and off the field, but he is pretty lacking on his own. His character mostly consisting of just being into soccer. Baru is always fun to watch. All the characters are cool, but on some level, somewhat ironically, but Baru is just cool. Some of the games went on for just a little too long, but other than that, a very solid arc overall. Now, let's talk about the animation. The animation is fine. There's a lot of still shots, limited animation, and CGI, but it's serviceable, and the PNGs are at least drawn well. Also, I think it's really funny how every character in this show looks like another anime character for some reason. Like, hey, it's Rob Lucci. I really was not expecting to like the show as much as I am. I can't explain it, but the characters are dumb fun, the games are pretty engaging and surprisingly hype at times, and the story just doesn't suck. I was charmed by the aura farming and shitty haircuts like a mind virus burrowing its way into my cerebral cortex. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm excited for Season 2 of Blue Lock. the unholy wasteland known as Framelock on the shitty Bird app. But I have faith. I have faith Blue Lock will prevail. I have faith Isagi will succeed. I have faith Blue Lock won't. Well, you know. We start the episode with a flash of Rin's backstory and what made him the Batman of soccer. And this was definitely unexpected. Actual good cinematography? It seems the show received a stylistic overhaul since the last season, with more detailed characters and environments. The next phase begins and the top 6 players in Blue Lock are announced, consisting of some familiar faces like Rin and Nagi, and some new characters introduced in the last episode like Shido, Kurisu, Otoya, and Yukimiya. I gotta say it, this guy got the best cut in the show. This guy is a goddamn fucking freak and I hate him. The top 6 are divided into 3 pairs, and all the remaining players have to pick which pair they want to play with. This next phase is to determine which players have the best synergy with the top 6 so they can draft a team for the U20 match.
Fortnite balls, I'm gay, I like boys.
The first match of the tryout tournament begins, and with it, I immediately felt a shift in the vibe from season 1. Everything is elevated. The stakes are elevated, the scope is elevated, the aura farming is elevated. The presentation alone feels more refined and focused from the first season. The compositing is much better, internal dialogue is seemingly cut down quite a bit, and I haven't really seen any noticeable downgrades in the animation. It's pretty comparable to the first season, really. There is an odd shot every now and then that sticks out, mostly these rippling PNGs used for internal dialogue, but that's pretty much it. 2 episodes in and it's only been improvement. I'm starting to get nervous that this video is actually becoming misleading and incorrect. Maybe Framelock was just an overreaction by people on the internet, but I don't know, it's not like people on Twitter to be wrong and overreact.
Man, fuck my life.
Just some more soccer in this one. We see Rin and Shido beefing as the number 1 and 2 players respectively. In a shocking final play, Isagi breaks through the top 2 players, scoring the game-winning goal and slapping his dick on the big boy table. That's it for this episode, but I just wanted to quickly add that Shido looks like Chester Cheetah.
What will elaborate on that?
No, I won't.
This episode mostly consists of Isagi watching the next match of the tryout tournament. The main focus of this episode is Ryo, Nagi's ex who went crazy because he cheated on him. We're shown his backstory, fleshed out his character a little bit, and he unlocks his gimmick, dubbing himself the Chameleon, being able to replicate plays with over 90% accuracy. And he still got shit on. But even though Ryo lost the game, he still won at the end of the day, because his boyfriend called him cute. The last match of the tryout tournament finishes, and Rin and Shido get into a fight on the field. Now that we've seen combat feats from these 2 characters, power skillers, get to work. Ego triggers a goddamn Suicide Squad shock device in Shido's jersey to pacify that freak-ass fucker. I actually don't think that's legal, but it's Shido, who gives a fuck. Since Shido and Rin failed to work together during the match, they put his ass in the pussy pound. The team that will play in the U20 match has decided, and hey, what do you know? Isagi made the starting lineup. Kazuya Mishimi invites Hannibal Lecter to play for the U20 team, who immediately then fucks around and finds out. Ego explains the concept of flow and how they'll need to use it in the next match, yada yada yada. Okay, whatever. Alright, end of the episode. Next!
Is that the Grim Reaper?
We open on a meeting between Itoshi Sai and Oliver IQ, the captain of the U20 team. Now you might be thinking, Itoshi Sai? I haven't heard of this character. Is he a new character? The short answer is no, I'm just a shitty writer. The long answer is Itoshi Sai has been in the background since season 1 and is one of the best players in all of Japan and is also the brother of Rin, who hates him. Okay, all caught up? Great. Oliver wants to win the match without Shido because he hates him. And Sai agrees as long as the rest of the U20 team can keep up with him. We see everyone at Blue Lock preparing for the game, and everyone arrives at the stadium. The stage is set, and Blue Lock begins their debut match with the U20 team, immediately making it known that they are a threat, and the game is on. Alright, I'm going to talk about these next few episodes all in one segment because it's just one match and this script is getting too fucking long. The game begins and the teams clash for control of the field, with Blue Lock being a more offensive team and U20 being more defensive. Nagi nails a cold ass goal, announcing himself to Japan as one of its next top players. I got him, man. Nagi is my fucking GOAT. The game continues as we see Rin and Isagi actually working together and playing off of each other pretty well. They both take a second to aura farm to power up before the next play, and it pays off because Rin hits an awesome goal, making the score 1-2 with Blue Lock in the lead. The first half of the game ends and we see more of Rin and Sai's backstory growing up together. We learned they were actually close as kids, dreaming of becoming the strongest strikers together. Of course, begging the question, what made them hate each other so much? Time passes and Sai is scouted to join a soccer club in Spain, leaving his brother behind for 4 whole years. And after those 4 years, he returns. Whoa, what the fuck happened in Spain? As soon as Sai touches down in Japan, he immediately goes to the field to cross up his high schooler brother for not being a pro yet. Like, bro has homework, dog. Hop off. Sai and Rin's relationship is the primary through line of this season, being featured in the marketing and is the backdrop of the U20 match itself. The second half begins. Nico and Shigiri are both subbed out due to injuries, and Shido is brought out after U20 lost in the first half of the match. Honestly, I'm proud of these guys. It's been quite a few episodes and no one has said anything vaguely sexual or... Oh, god damn it! The game continues and Ryo uses his new chameleon skill to block Shido from scoring. Shido then explains his philosophy on soccer, where the ball is his seed and the goal is a womb and he's impregnating soccer and... Yeah, I don't fucking know. I told you he was a freak. Lock his ass back up. It's his fault that sperm is canon to Blue Lock, so I hope you're happy, Shido fans. Everyone clap for the Shido fans. You did it! Woo! Yeah, thanks a lot. But he does hit a crazy goal like 2 seconds later, so maybe he can be redeemed. Never mind. Bro, how is Shido the gayest player on the field when Bachira is standing right there? The score is now 3-2 with U20 taking the lead. Isagi goes to Ego on the sidelines, asking him what they need to do to win, claiming that losing is the same as dying, and they are not dead yet. Ego decides to go off book and gamble the future of Blue Lock by bringing Baru back into the match as his wild card. Yes! The GOAT is back on the field. Get ready to enter the Baru zone, bitches. Blue Lock gets close to scoring but is held off by U20. The match rages on as the game nears its conclusion. Baru forces his way through U20's defenses and scores a goal so raw he had to take his shirt off. Both teams are pushed to their limit, except Sai. With the next goal ending it all, both teams are prepared for their final battle to the death. All players on the field push themselves beyond their limits as they protect their goals like their lives depend on it, and attack the opponents with murderous intent. In the final minutes of the game, Rin sees how far all of his teammates have pushed themselves, and how they're beginning to reach his level. And it disgusts him. Rin reaches new levels of locked in. The final play begins. Oh fuck. The aspect ratio changed. The scene that brought Blue Lock back after the devastation that was Frame Lock, the Itoshi 1v1. This scene right here is everything I wanted from Blue Lock. The heightened reality, the battle-like plays, dynamic movement, engaging directing, and suspense. This is obviously where the animation peaked, and while I disagree that the animation became significantly worse and is actually perfectly serviceable, I appreciate the effort they put into this moment. Rin, unable to directly score, passes the ball to his new best friend Isagi, who makes the final goal, winning the game. The crowd roars with applause. Not even knowing who Blue Lock was before this match, they have made themselves known to the public and claimed their first major victory. Right after, Isagi is interviewed on TV and declares that he will lead Blue Lock to victory in the World Cup. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I experienced the series all at once, or maybe I was watching him grow and improve ever since the first episode. But after proving himself over and over again, I'm finally here for you, Isagi. Congratulations. You're now my GOAT. Until Baru touches the ball again. The game is over, and the Blue Lock Project Phase 1 has been completed. The team celebrates their victory, the number 1 player is beefing with the number 15th, and that's pretty funny. And we're given one last reveal to end the season. Oh. He must have gone to Spain. Alright, so, did Season 2 fall off? Hate to break it to you, But no, it didn't. Yeah, sorry to bait you with that title, but how else am I gonna get you to listen to an autistic nut muncher talk about this gay soccer anime for 38 minutes? And hey, don't feel bad, because I got baited too. If anything, I'm the victim here. I think people just forgot what Season 1 was like when it came out. I like Season 1, but it doesn't have the greatest animation or anything. It's pretty limited, there are animation errors, there's quite a bit of CGI, and it's usually saved for the moments with the biggest impact. I actually believe the animation received a pretty noticeable upgrade. If both seasons are PNGs being dragged across a screen, at least Season 2's PNGs are better drawn. That being said, it does have plenty of wonky shots and rough CGI. The blemishes do shine through, but overall as a season, I see it as an upgrade. More streamlined and focused to make up for the lack of episodes, going from 24 to 14. Both seasons have a distinct yet familiar vibe to them. Season 1 being more washed out and flatly lit with whiter contrasting backgrounds. Season 2 having more dynamic lighting and environments with more of a focus on color and effects, highlighting the differences between the two teams. While they present themselves very differently, they both share the DNA of what makes Blue Lock Blue Lock. Season 2 feels like a natural progression in terms of both presentation and story. It's like, okay guys, you've been training in this isolated back room trying to be the best. Now the training arc is over and it's time to enter the real world. Now let's touch on the story a little bit because I don't have too much to say about it in general. I can't say I watched Blue Lock for the story, but the story more so feels like a vehicle to take the characters to new places. I think the idea of having Rin and Sai's relationship and beef being the backdrop of this super important match is an interesting concept, but I don't think the material is fleshed out enough to be super compelling. While I do like the personal journey of Isagi, I still wish we could see this story from other characters' perspectives, but overall I'm not disappointed whatsoever. I really thought going into this that I was going to hate it with its dumb characters and bad writing and blah 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 blah. I even remember when I told my friend Jake I was making a video on Blue Lock, his immediate reaction was,
"Why are you watching Blue Lock? It sucks."
But pretty quickly into the first season, I found myself invested in the characters and seeing through their progression how high they could reach. I can't really explain it, the show is just kind of fun to watch. But it's only really fun to watch because it's trying to be fun to watch, you know? It somehow gave me the feeling of what I imagine it's like to watch sports, being invested in a team with both their victories and defeats. I wouldn't call this good on a literary level, but I think it's the kind of dumb, over-the-top fun that I needed in my life right now. 38 episodes, 7 pages of notes, and a 12-page script later, and here I am, a Blue Lock fan. So congrats, Cult of Blue Lock. You have a new pledge. I'm just as surprised as you are. And congratulations to you, Blue Lock. You held your head high and beat the goofy allegations, and managed to not fall off. Great. Made this whole video for nothing!
I'm jaking it. I'm jaking it. Oh.
Okay, so it's been a minute. Sorry this video took so long to make. Granted, it is my longest video by far, just to cut myself a little bit of slack. I accidentally got addicted to this game where you run a grocery store. It kind of consumed my life for a little bit. It's called Supermarket Together. It's free on Steam. Just give it a go with your friends and you'll have a blast. So this is my store. These are my employees. This is John. This is John, 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 and John. I've also been playing Star of Providence. Really good game. Check it out. But yeah, I'm not going to tease anything this time, mostly because I don't know what I'm going to do next. I have a couple ideas, but I don't really know what to commit on. But I don't know if you have any recommendations. Leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll get to them. I don't know. It might be in cringe. Yeah, let's wrap this up. Remember, everybody, skate fast, smoke grass, and pee is stored in the balls. Thank you, and good night.